welcome to another episode of the Adrienne Ross Show, the basketball edition. Before we get down to what we're talking about today, make sure you hit the subscribe button if you have been holding out and haven't done that yet. And of course, if this is your first time on the channel, you won't be sorry you made that commitment. Yes, it is a commitment for some people, because I've had some people say, I've been watching you, and I finally did it. I hit the button. So people take that seriously. That's why I'm so honored for those of you who have chosen to subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much. And now to what we're going to talk about. Some interesting news about the WNBA has come out today. Far cry from the days of old when nobody was talking about the WNBA too much. Well, I find this particularly interesting because if you frequent the channel, or if you're a sports fan, a WNBA, fan or observer at all, you know how the WNBA finals ended up this 2024 season. Very controversial. Game 5 in New York. New York Liberty taking on the Minnesota Lynx. Lynx pretty much had it wrapped up at the end of regulation, but the officials stepped in. We know that it was a phantom foul that the officials called and reviewed and then maintained with some nonsense about improper, illegal position or some nonsense. Well, let's just take a look back at that to refresh your memory or to show it to you for the first time, whatever the case may be. Okay, so there it is. First of all, Breanna Stewart traveled a long way, and then she wasn't fouled. And in case you didn't get an opportunity to get a good look at the position Alana Stewart had, you can take a look at that right now. There it is, straight up, great position. So yeah, no foul, no contact. And even still, when she did, at a different angle, when she was defending her, she had her hand on the ball. So that was bogus. And again, the travel and then the non-foul. And Coach Cheryl Reeve had quite a bit to say about that at the end of the game. And I'm going to show you that, but I want to point out what the news is today. First of all, the news is that there will be no fines assessed for the horrible officiating that was called out, which is rare in the WNBA because coaches and team officials do get fined and have been fined this season. And when Cheryl Reeve says what I'm about to show you, which you probably have seen before, but let's take a look at it again. When she says this, no fines, it has been reported today. I find that very interesting. I'm also then going to show you that Coach Sandy Brondello of the Liberty, she had complained after the game before. And she said she was strong in what she had to say. And again, the news came out today, no fines for either of them. I find that fascinating, and it makes me wonder about something. But let's just take a look back, first of all, at Cheryl Reeve and then at Sandy Brondello.
I thought today was incredibly disappointing. The challenge, we have got to change our challenge rules, and the officials doing the game should have a third party, because that was not a foul. That call should have been reversed on that challenge. The 3 people that are on the game need a third party to let them know, because that decided the game.
And let's move forward a little bit to when she says this, which was pretty bold of her.
I know all the headlines will be Reeve cries foul. Bring it on, right? Bring it on, because this shit was stolen from us. Bring it on.
You heard that before, I imagine. And there it is again. It's one thing to say, hey, some calls didn't go our way, in such an important game, game 5, the final game of a WNBA championship. Yeah, we're disappointed in, we thought some things could have gone differently, especially since the free throw shooting was completely lopsided. But you said that y'all need some help. There needs to be a third party, and you decided the game in a bad way. And here it is that, was stolen from us. It was stolen. That is a whole lot more than what people get fined for. And yet, the word today is that no fine. Now, let's go back to the game before, because Sandy Brondello also had complaints about the officiating, and this is what she had to say.
We got no calls today. So do I need to talk up in a press conference? Because they were getting ticky-tacks, and we went down there and got hit and get nothing. It was like 12-6 at halftime, and they tried to even it up near the end. It was 14-9. No, all we want is fair. Okay, so if we're getting hit, that's a foul. That time, I'm one of the nicest bloody coaches in this league, but this pisses me off. Just be fair. If they're getting hit, it's a bloody foul.
Well, Sandy Brondello basically told them how to do their job. Hey, if you get hit, it's a foul. Okay. She busted out the bloody word. She's pissed off, she told you. And she said, y'all tried to even it up after a while. So what is she saying there? All of a sudden, they want to even it up after they weren't calling it properly. And she said, just be fair, i.e., you are not being fair. So again, I find it rather interesting, the news that came out today with such strong language from Cheryl Reeve and Sandy Brondello that the decision has been made that they're not going to be fined. Athlon Sports has an article today. WNBA makes unexpected decision on Liberty Lynx finals controversy. And it goes on to talk about the contentious moments throughout the series, the finals, and that the Liberty, they emerged victorious nonetheless. And Cheryl Reeve blasted the game officials, as we see here, which I just shared with you. She said it was stolen from us, which is about as strong as you can get. And she said it decided the game. And here we go. ESPN, a source told ESPN, a league source, the WNBA did not find Minnesota Lynx coach Cheryl Reeve after her criticism of the officiating from the winner-take-all Game 5 of the WNBA Finals. And that's what is being reported. And also, of course, it wasn't just Reeve, it was Sandy Brondello, which I just shared after Game 5. And it says, these decisions by the league office are somewhat unexpected considering how coaches and team officials have been slapped with fines throughout the season. The WNBA, however, opted not to act in the same way when the stakes were at their highest. And again, I find this extremely interesting. If you go over to this article by Clutch Points, it says WNBA makes final Cheryl Reeve decision after controversial stolen finals critique. And we know how it, know how it went down. They ended up losing Cheryl Reeve's team 67-62. That's the Lynx. They lost to the Liberty. And it was controversial with 5.2 seconds left in regulation. And I agree with Reeve. It decided the game. Okay. And so there were definitely discrepancies here. I'm trying to find the part of the article that talks about the free throw. I want to get it right. If I remember correctly, it was set. They only shot, meaning Minnesota only shot. Here it is. She pointed to the disparity in free throw attempts with the Liberty shooting 25 free throws compared to the Lynx 8. 25-8. That was suspect right there. So with the stakes this high, Athlon reported, they chose not to fine them. Did they choose not to fine them because the stakes were this high? I'm thinking that you guys have been talking about, the media have been talking about, all the people who want us to think everybody, no one needs Caitlin Clark and they're still watching. They want to tell us how many people were watching. It would seem to me, with all the eyeballs on, You don't want the coaches to criticize the officials and not send a message that we can't have this. I find it fascinating. Now, ain't nobody going to say that the officiating is great in this league. In fact, when I did my video on 5 things I would change immediately if I were WNBA commissioner, I said that these officials got to be canned. You've got to clean house. And those who are not cutting mustard have to go. And so, yeah, they do a horrible job. Too many of them do a horrible job. Does the league know that they do a horrible job? Is that why they're not fining these coaches? Because they can't possibly look at the videotape and say that Cheryl Reeve was wrong about game 5 or say that Sandy Brondello was wrong about game 4. They can't say that because they're looking at it. I'm just going to talk about game 5 because to me, that's the most egregious. How in the world do you have that kind of discrepancy with free throws? How in the world do you overlook a lot of what was going on, the physicality? How in the world do you let Brianna take a trip all the way to her grandmama's house in her travel that was not called, and then give her the call, bail her out, and call a foul that was not there? So if I'm a league official, if I'm the commissioner, I'm looking at that. It's clear, right? Is it so clear to you that you said, you know what, I cannot even foul. I can't even find them because this was horrible. This was egregious. And so if that is the case, and I gotta believe if they're looking like we look, they know what's up. So I gotta say, if you're not gonna find them for doing something that's not allowed in the league, like criticizing the officials publicly, then you gotta clean house. You're telling us that you know that something isn't right. There are all kinds of philosophies about why it's not right. Are they just that bad? Are they on the take? Is sports betting affecting all this stuff? I don't know. There, of course, are people who think the league is pulling the strings. All I know is I find it rather interesting that they have said, with all the eyeballs on, it's the finals, and you just totally made the officials look like crap, which they did look like, but you pointed it out, and the league is now going to look the other way. What does the league know? And if you know that they're horrible, then how about while you're cleaning out all these coaches, why don't you clean out the officials? Don't stop now. This league needs to clean house. Yes, with coaches, but also with the officials, because they're jacking up the game. Well, a lot of the game is already jacked up for other reasons, but they ain't helping. In fact, they're hurting even more. I want to know why they didn't get fined. There got to be a reason, right? They were just feeling generous? Nah, not at all. What do you think? What's up with this? Are we going to clean house with officials? Why isn't the league finding them for breaking this rule? What do they know? Anyway, I always like to hear what you think. So tell us what you think in the comments. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. I'll catch you next time, God willing. God bless you abundantly.